Previously on Planet Renovate, there we've got some really hideous rock work. Like, this is obviously something that I hadn't sort of dabbled in at the time. It's just the same rock span placed and random rotated, basically. If I can find it, it was like an elk stone masonry type thing. Elk. No. No. I will find it. If it takes me all video, even if this video has to be an hour long. Here it is. So this is something I made a while back. On this episode of Planet Renovate, however, we will be extending beyond the entrance we made in the last episode. We're going to be leaving the gift shop actual entrance building, finishing to another episode, because I've still got a little bit more planned to do that. But we're going to be working on this outer courtyard area, and even thinking a little bit beyond that to the first animals that are going to be replaced back in this zoo. What is up, everybody? My name is Blob, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Renovate. Like I said in the intro, we're going to be working on the outer courtyard here. Nothing has changed since the last episode. It is exact same as when I left you last time. But yeah, the plans are that we're going to be sort of laying out this courtyard. I think I've got a plan for this this little house. Well, I'll say little house now. I've got a plan for this lodge now. I'm going to be doing some like little renovation works here. I'm going to be explaining a little bit about my thought process behind the sight lines that I want to get in this place as well. And we're probably going to be saying goodbye to this reptile house that we built absolutely ages ago as well. But without any further ado, before we jump on into the first update, I just want to say a massive thank you for the support on the last video. Absolutely insane of you. And yeah, I really hope you have enjoyed this and that you continue to enjoy it. Okay, Stafford is going nowhere though. So those of you that are here for Stafford, don't worry, that is also coming. But with that, we're going to jump forward to our first update. I've got a lot that I want to get done. And yeah, we'll jump forward to that now. Okay, I'm back. I've done a little bit, not too much, mainly just sort of retconning more than anything else. And I'm getting a little bit anxious that if I get rid of too much, then is it really the same project as it was before? But I am still trying to keep like quite a lot of key elements in the zoo, and I'm also trying to keep a lot of key elements for the topography. The topography is one of the main things I don't want to mess around with, because then it really would be just like me starting a brand new zoo. So I'm trying to bear in mind that I don't want to be deleting too much, but I'm trying to keep the topography of the ground for the most part the same. I'm doing some light terrain work like I've done here. So the base level used to be here, but I've raised it a little bit because I want the entrance to be slightly raised up as you come from the car park. But if we jump on down here for a sec, you'll be able to see what I've done. I've just done a little bit more detailing in this courtyard. It's just to continue on from what we were doing in the last, in the latter stage. And obviously we've got these like round areas on the ground here, just to break up the monotony of the red brick. I really like this path. I've really wanted to use it for the longest time, and I'm glad that Elkhorn is giving me the opportunity to be able to do that. Now, the house. I was umming and ahhing about and getting rid of it because I thought it was a little bit too large. But do you know what? I actually kind of like the backdrop it gives as you come up to the entrance. As I say, we're going to have a building here as well. But I think as you come up to the entrance, having this lodge in the background here, I think just really helps with the backdrop, with the mountains in the background as well. But yeah, as you go on in, we've got that classic bean shape that I was talking about in the last episode here. So you can see it like is that bean shape, and then this path is going to go up toward where this current section of the zoo exists. Like I say, this probably won't be changing too much, to be totally honest with you. The bison and the prairie dogs is definitely getting relocated. This guest area will probably get a massive facelift as well. But yeah, I think I'm going to be focusing my attention more on this side. And you'll see that we've got like this massive clearing that's opened up. All of the trees have gone. And that's because back here, we've obviously got the water. This water's going. I'm going to be doing a prairie sort of thing. So it's going to be a big, wide, open field area where the pronghorn and the bison are going to exist. But what I want is, as you come into the zoo, I want you to sort of like, the first thing you'll do is look around. You'll be able to like look left. You'll hopefully have something that you can look at back here. I'm going to redo this foliage, don't worry, so it's not going to be a vast open plain. But as you turn to your right, I want you to have this as like your framing for what you're going to be able to see. So these trees on the left and right really frame this quite beautifully. I'm going to do a little bit of work to the trees and rock work in the background just to help set the, not the foreground, because the foreground would be like what's here. It's sort of like the mid ground, because the background is the mountain. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how I'm able to do this. But what I'm probably going to be doing is dipping this down. This is going to sink down a little bit, and then it'll come back up so that you can view the prairie. And the main reason for that is because when you're back, if I do this uphill, you're not really going to be able to see what's back here by the time we get here. So I'm sort of forcing a sight line by dipping it down, putting everything down here, and then raising it back up again so that you're able to see what's on the other side here. It's sort of it's going to be a clever use of, I don't know how you'd say it, not optics, but it's going to be a clever use of the terrain and views in order to get what I'm looking for. But in my head, I've got an idea. It's just whether I'm able to bring that to fruition is going to be a different story. But I think what I'm going to do now is I'll probably just like do a little bit of foliage here. I'm going to lay some groundwork potentially for what will be the building, just so I know what I'm going to be doing for spacing. And then I was going to do an animal here, but where I've put this lodge here now, it's actually kind of thrown my plans out entirely. So maybe the first animal will be here on the left instead, and then it just means I don't have to do quite as much foliage work. But it's just something I'm thinking about. But when I start to get an idea, I'll let you know and come back with an update. Right, we've got a big update here. Change, as it were. And that is that I've done a bit of work on the left-hand side here. This is a placeholder for what is going to be the building here. I'm going to be doing... So the idea is that the gift shop will go in this section here. And then this will be how the guests will exit the zoo. So this is going to be purely for entering the zoo. And then when you're exiting the zoo, you'll come through here. And then you'll have the option of going into the gift shop. If you don't want to go in the gift shop, that's fine. You head straight through here and you'll leave via this path here. But we're also going to have like a desk here as well for people to buy tickets if they haven't managed to get any online and stuff like that. So we're still going to have like a little bit of a bit of a reception area here, or I might even incorporate that as part of the the gift shop itself, but we'll see. Like I say, this is just a placeholder. I'm probably going to be doing something that's going to be a bit of a mix between this current building, and then I want to make it more modern. So I definitely want to be using these wooden logs, but I want to have some like electric double sliding doors and stuff like that, like the general the usual stuff really. Another change is that I've done a bit of more decor on this side. So when you're actually back here now, you can see it's got a bit more. You can't really see as much of the mountain, but I think it makes this mountain pop. Like this image here now is like really nice because you've got the entrance in the front here, the lodge in the back. You've got this mountain like that sort of brings you back to where you're actually at, and then you've got the trees in the front as well. But as you come in, you can see that we've started some work on some fencing for an animal, and I'm still deciding at this time whether I want to do a red fox, prairie dog, or raccoon. But yeah, I'm sort of to and fro between the three of those right now, but I think that's what's going to go in here, just so that we've got something as you come in. I'm not going to be touching anything else on this side for now. You can see I've done a little bit of the terrain work that I was talking about, but I'm an about the possibility of a track ride, but then I'm sort of thinking to myself, do I really want to put myself through that? And yeah, if I do, I'd want it to be, I think I'd only use the, which one is it? It's like the little box type one. I'd only want to use this one if I was to use a track ride. I really hate all of the others. I think they look absolutely awful. So especially the gondola. It's a shame because we're in a mountain setting, so a gondola or not a ski lift, but something like this that went up and down a mountain similar to a gondola would be a really nice mix. But I feel like this is one of the areas where Planet Zoo has kind of dropped the ball in general, because yes, you've got some really nice ones like the Savannah car, and this one's probably the most usable one, but this feels like more of a city zoo kind of vibe that you'd have. The boat, I don't know why anyone would use that, but yeah, that's probably one of the areas of the game that I feel is maybe a little bit weaker. But I really want to actually use a track ride. I can't remember the last time I did use a track ride, so it would be kind of nice to get one in, but we'll see. Maybe I end up building a station here, and then we have like a little, the track come over this here and have like a little bridge, but then I'm a bit worried it might spoil the view. I don't know, but it might also make for cool viewing. As you'll come in here, you can see that there is a track that goes over the thing, but then you'll have, I don't know, maybe we don't make it so that you can see the prairie from here. Maybe we tease that there's something back here, but we don't actually show off what is here. So I think the backdrop will be nice regardless. But yeah, this is where we're at. It's a little bit of an update. I've got these fences are going to be on the workshop if you want to download them yourself. But yeah, I'm just sort of thinking about what I could put in here at the moment. It is a toss-up between 3 animals, but I don't really want to do the prairie dog here just yet because of its setting. It's more of a deserty. It is more of a deserty savanna type. Yeah, desert grassland. It's more of, this is something I'd put near the armadillo because I'm probably going to have an armadillo as well. This in here, so I think raccoon or red fox is definitely what I'm thinking of here. But obviously, by the time of me putting this video out, I'll have decided and probably gonna build. I'm gonna build this habitat in this video. Sod it. Why not? Let's do it. So yeah, that way we'll have an entrance done for this video, and the first animal will be back in. And I'm gonna try and throw some time lapses in as well. But we're gonna do a little bit of an update to this habitat, and then I will start looking at things like foliage. Okay, this is gonna be the next jump. And I've pretty much done the outskirts of the habitat. I've done like the perimeter fence. I still don't know if I like this. It feels a bit low on this side, but at the same time, who cares? I actually quite like these lower windows. Obviously, normally I like full height windows, but given that the animal that we're going to be putting in here is quite small, I've now decided I'm going to go for the red fox. But because it's going to be the red fox in here, I think these lower windows actually aid quite well to that because, well, you want to look at the animals at the end of the day, so that's why everyone is in this zoo. Here, they're obviously a bit more taller, so you do get an opportunity to have like a bit more view of the habitat as a whole. But I think all like this here is a more up close and personal view of the red foxes as they go. But that's the first update. I've done just a little bit of foliage work at the back, just to cover the gap because there's like a void between the edge of the map and where the habitat was ending. This here is going to be a placeholder for an indoor section. I don't know if I'm going to be doing detailed interiors at the moment. I think I might just stick a keeper hut in here. But at the same time, I just don't like the scale of the buildings. I think they're way too tall, the staff buildings that they have to use. So maybe I'll end up putting that somewhere else instead. And then this will just be like a placeholder backstage. I've done some planters here as well, just because the dirt was getting a little bit on my nerves, so that's been looked at as well. I've done, I think I showed this in the last bit, I think this bit here. Yeah, I'm a very messy builder. Like I say, someone in the last episode was like, oh, I'd love to see you do actually more to building, but I'm so easily distracted, so I'll start doing this and then I'll find a piece and I'll be like, oh, this piece is amazing over here, and then I'll like rush back over here and start messing around with this, and I'm like, oh, I might as well do the foliage while I'm here, and then I'll do the foliage, and it's just a bit of a mess. Like, I think me as a builder I can't focus on one thing at a time. But I'm gonna do a little speed build here just of me doing the foliage. I think most of the rock work and stuff is pretty much going to stay as it is. I'm not going to be doing too much heavy transitioning, but yeah, we'll jump in and I'll start doing some of the foliage work. that's the base level done. Obviously, I still have to do the terrain painting, but I think I'll do that near the end. I'm going to add a few creosote bushes in here as well, and then I'm going to get some trees in here just so that we can get some shade in here as well, just to make it a bit more covered over. But really happy with how this looks. I've just tried to, it's very minimalist, you know, it's just buffalo grass, some drin grass, some bramble and arrowroots around the edges. I'll add some creosotes around the edges just to help bridge the gap between the mesh fence and the wooden fence that I've got going on here, so that will help a little bit. Yeah, I'll add some trees in, probably not too many, like probably about 3 or something, like one back here, one probably in between the fence here, and then maybe another one at the back here. But I don't really want them at the front of the habitat because I think they'll just obstruct too much of the view. But yeah, I'll add those in. Okay, I'm gonna rock with this. I don't know. I was originally not gonna have a burrow, but actually I kind of like the idea where this oak tree is a little bit higher off the ground. It obviously means that the roots are showing, but it's given me a good opportunity to be able to maybe like bury this and have this as like a burrow. So yeah, we'll rock with this. You probably saw me at the start sort of wondering what trees I wanted to have here. We've opted with one of our classic American trees here, the spruce tree, and then we've opted with like a nice oak. I was gonna have a poplar tree here, but I really like the broadness of this. I'm not overly taken with the habitat as a whole. I still feel like this area feels a bit plain, a bit monotonous. Maybe I'll add something on the pathing here as like some sort of detail. That's partly why I did this as well, but there's something about this that feels like it's missing, and I can't think what. And it's probably something like line signs, because I just have them absolutely everywhere. So I'll definitely be scattering some of those in where I can, just to try and make it feel a bit more zooey. Or maybe it's because this just feels too blocky, a bit too square. But yeah, I don't know. Something just seems a bit off about this habitat, and I can't quite put my finger on it. If you think you can nail it, then by all means, let me know in the comments, and I will have a look at adjusting it where I can. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I will jump forward one more time just to do the terrain painting and finish off this building here. This building's going to take me a while because they're not my strong suit. So yeah, I thought I'd show you some of the cool foliage work, just me spam placing a load of grass. Maybe you can get an idea of how I place it, if that makes sense from the speed build. But yeah, I'll jump forward and then I'll catch you at the last update of this episode. Okay, this is it, the last and final update. I've obviously downscaled this quite a bit. This was originally a lot bigger, and you can see we've actually got some red foxes in here now. Haven't got any names for these at the moment. I've literally just given them default names. We've got Darcy and Henry. Henry's over here. I actually had some really cool variations. If I just go quickly into my animal trade center, it's obviously like my animal storage. I've got so many melanistics, like the piebald cross ones. I've got so many to choose from. So I was spoilt for pickings when it came to picking a red fox to go in here. But yeah, you know, obviously things like melanistic foxes are extremely rare. They're like a 1 in 10,000 or something absolutely crazy like that. So the odds of actually having them are next to nothing, so I didn't really want to have them in here for the purposes of realism, as it were. But I thought I'd compromise with a piebald one, just because I think
Frontier put a lot of effort into these like really cool variations. It'd be a bit of a shame not to utilize them. Let's have a look at this hut we built anyway. Nothing too special, really small. Can't see inside it. I put the water hut in here as well, just because it actually gives them prog to go inside. I've actually forgotten some bedding, but I'll put that down after I finish this section of recording. But yeah, this is it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I've had to be, obviously, because we're in franchise, I'm very much conscious of the idea that we are still trying to raise money for the zoo. So that, of course, means having donation bins, and I've clipped it inside here. You can't actually... It's in here, believe me. I've just clipped it in the rock here. There was a whole reason why I built this rock structure to begin with, and it was literally to house the donation bin. There it is. There's that awful upside down spoon that they decided to stick in the top of it. Wish that was one of the things that Frontier would look at and get some better donation bins in, but at the moment we're just having to suffice with just the one. And then obviously I've got the speakers underground here, one here, and then one at this viewing gallery here as well, underground. And then with regards to the education billboard, I've literally clipped it inside this fence. You can see the back of it there. That's the back of this. Yeah, this is the back of the screen. So I've changed it. It's tailored to the red fox, so guests will actually get some education, and it will be functional from that perspective. But yeah, we've got our keeper as well. If you want to be the keeper that looks after the red foxes, feel free to drop a comment down below suggesting that you would like to be a valuable member of the Elkhorn team. But yeah, without any further ado, I'll leave you with a few little cinematics of the habitat and the animals themselves, and I look forward to bringing you the next episode of Planet Renovate. Thanks so much, have a great week, and bye bye.